Quoting something that John Mayer said, they were the iPhone 5 of their day. The chronograph is like an app. The GMT is one of the world's greatest apps. On this episode of How Does It Wear, we'll be talking about the Rolex GMT Master 2. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the history of the GMT. It's been brought up in almost every single GMT review I've seen. I'm more concerned with what's here right now, what's in front of me, and most importantly, what I'll be wearing. Like usual, I won't go over the technical specifications since there are many resources online for that. The GMT Master 2 is the exact same feel as wearing a Rolex Submariner with the Super Oyster case, whether it be the date or no date. And since I do own the no date ceramic Submariner, I'm very familiar with how it wears and feels. So it's no surprise that the GMT Master 2 wears extremely comfortably on my wrist. I have a 6.75 inch wrist and the watch feels, and most importantly, wears great. Some may disagree, but I really like the shape and size of the new Super cases. They feel really compact and kind of stubby like a tank, which I assume is a result of the lug-to-lug length, both horizontally and vertically. The GMT rotating platinum fill bezel also makes the case look very well proportioned on the wrist. The end of the lugs do curve slightly, which may not seem significant, but it does have a large impact on how the case rests on the wrist. The curved lugs makes the watch feel like it's contoured to your wrist, opposed to something resting just on top of it. I've noticed this with the Omega Seamaster 300 because its lugs are relatively just straight. It felt like a plate on my wrist. The Oyster bracelet is very easy to size and there's plenty of ways to accommodate different wrist sizes. When I had the bracelet size at a Rolex Service Center, I had a few links removed but still felt kinda loose, but not really loose enough to remove another link. Luckily, the bracelet has the half link extension and two adjustment positions, meaning you can adjust where the half link begins and use the half link itself. So technically, you have two means of micro adjustment. But of course, nothing can beat the glide lock system found on my Submariner. Lastly, the clap has a nice, satisfying click when putting on and off, and the second clap is just as nice and snappy. The crown is very easy to screw in and out due to the nicely proportioned crown guards and knurling on the crown. And the watch sits low on the wrist, which I really like. The dial is black with white gold accented markers and hands. The lumen is chromalite, which gives it an extremely nice blue color and is very easy to charge and see in the dark. I even noticed the lumen in moderately bright rooms due to how bright the lumen could get. The date window is nicely sized and the Cyclops definitely aids in visibility when I'm writing down the date at the top of my notes. Something I really like is the green GMT hand and the overlooked green text on the dial. It's green to commemorate the anniversary of the GMT and a nice contrast against the all-black bezel and dial. So overall, the watch looks, wears, and functions really well, which is something expected for a watch with a brand prestige and high cost. It slides under the sleeve with ease, doesn't feel like it's choking my wrist when it swells up thanks to the half-length extension, keeps impeccable time, and just looks stunning due to the mixed finishing. Which is the only downfall I've noticed after wearing it for a while. Obviously, I expected the bracelet to attract more desk diving marks than a brush bracelet would. I take extreme caution of my wrist to avoid marks, but hairline scratches are almost impossible to avoid. But if the increased possibility of hairlines is the only issue, then this is a pretty damn cool watch. Thanks to the dressier finishing and look due to the busier bezel and dial of the GMT, I've worn this on many formal occasions since I got it. It fit well under the cuff and had all the information I need on the dial, which allows my phone to stay in my pocket and out of my hand. Lastly, the watch is pretty flashy, so it tends to strike up a conversation if someone notices it. Now I know it's very similar to the Rolex Submariner, and I do ask if I feel like it's repetitive to own the GMT as well, but I don't feel that way at all. You really need to own both pieces to realize that, in my opinion. However, that will be discussed further in my Rolex Submariner vs GMT Master 2 video, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for that video. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please make sure to smash that like button as well, and I'll see you guys later.